Field, going to take off and try to run with it. Now he scrambles back the other way. Looking, steps, throws downfield, has Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, makes the catch, 45 of Northwestern, to the 40, weaves his way to the 35, 30, 25, 20, up and bounds. My goodness, what a play. Casey Thompson.
Side set, Lindsey Krause, kaboom! 8-7, Nebraska set 2 after winning the first 5-2.
Snap back, they give it off to Grant, right side, he is in, touchdown Nebraska, and the Huskers have the lead back here in Ireland.
Pepperdine volleyball, bumped over to the left, Aaron swings, stuffed, match point, big red, Keelan Hall, Kennedy Hall, 25-22, Nebraska wins it in 3.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Glad to be indoors tonight. Man, it's hot out there today. Hottest day of the year.
It was
103.
Toasty out there today. I even took my dog on a walk in the morning, and it got hot early.
Yeah, I mowed yesterday, and I was sweating like crazy. And I did it like at 9:30 in the morning. It's going to cool off tomorrow, though.
Well, glad we didn't have that with on the turf.
Yeah.
It
was
brutal.
pretty comfortable, wasn't it?
It
Saturday?
was. It felt good. I mean, it was raining off and on a little bit, sprinkling here or there, but that cloud cover kept it where it wasn't too miserable down there.
BTN just finished those Big Ten football games in 60 minutes. They just replayed the Iowa game from Saturday night. They stopped it 3 times because of lightning. They got done at 1:40 in the morning.
Wow.
When they finished their game. How
Well,
about that?
They found a way to get the offense going. I guess the lightning.
They scored some points.
Lightning struck, and they got things going.
Scored some points. Andrew was like, man, how late would Big Red Reaction have gone if we'd had a game go to 1:40? Yeah, you'd have been here. You'd have been ready to go get some breakfast.
They would have been able to just stay overnight and work right into the volleyball match.
Absolutely.
Like you could have just worked right through, gone to the training table, and then got it going again for the volleyball.
It was a Saturday night. Andrew's usually up till 3 or 4 in the morning.
I know. I don't know what he's complaining about.
Doing all that. Speaking of volleyball, we will have our volleyball show coming up in hour number 2. John Cook will be here, and the long-lost soul of John Baylor will be here. It's been like a month since he's been here to
I
do
know
a
my
show.
back hurts from, carrying the team
Absolutely.
over here. Where has he been? No, glad to have him back. I know Thursdays are always kind of a challenge. So with the schedule, he hasn't been able to be here on Thursdays, but glad to have JB back in studio, always entertaining.
He'll be biking up here in a few minutes.
I know. Can't wait to see it.
Drifting in on that bike. All right, Mickey Joseph did have a press conference today. It'll be the only media availability for anybody in football. And we had some people last night again asking about where was Matt. Well, Matt works for football, and right now Mickey wants to be the sole voice coming out of that department. So until that gets lifted, we can't bring Matt on Mondays. It's not because Matt doesn't want to do it. He's just following orders from the head coach. So we'll replay some of the stuff from Mickey today. Obviously, the topic was about the dismissal of Eric Chenander.
Well, and also, too, though, with changing the schedule up a little bit, where an off day is on Monday, and so then if Coach Joseph wants to be the first voice heard on the Tuesday, so maybe we'll see. You might have to tweak the schedule.
Right.
We don't know. I mean, maybe won't be available on, might be Tuesdays with Matt.
Tuesdays with Matt. So, that doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No.
Oh, well. We'll get that figured out. But folks,
Tuesdays with Davison? That sounds a little better.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Folks, that's what's going on. And again, hey, hang with us. This is certainly unprecedented times, dismissing a coach middle of the year. We're having to kind of adjust a lot of different things that are going around. But
and we still haven't even talked to players other than the 3 that were made available post-game. So it's just a lot of things going on right now, and it's been an emotional couple of weeks, and we got the bye week, and so I think just get through this week, and then maybe we'll get more towards a routine and normalcy the weekend or the week leading up to Indiana.
He did confirm that A.J. Allen's season is over. An injury, he had some surgery. He's doing well, but that his season is finished for Nebraska. I feel bad for him. The good news for him is that it happened in Game 4, and so with the new NCAA rules, if you don't play more than 4 games, you can redshirt.
Right.
So he would still have 4 years of eligibility after this year.
Yeah, when I saw him walk off the sideline on Saturday, I thought it was not going to be good news. Just the hug with Coach Applewhite But, you said it. Gabe Irvin came in and did some good things. Mickey Joseph said it today. He's a very capable back. We've seen some flashes. And I think, too, with Gabe, just the more that he gets into the flow, coming off the ACL injury and being out of that game shape, you can be practice shape and you can be conditioning shape. But getting back into the game shape, it just takes some time. So the more that he's out there on the field, I think the more he'll get back to some of those flashes we saw at the, towards the 4th or 5th game of his freshman year a year ago. So, that's a group that's got some depth in that room, and so it's time for somebody else to step up, next man up. That's what you got to do, right? So it really stings for AJ. We've been singing his praises since fall camp, but I know Coach Applewhite just really loves him, and so it really stinks, but still is good that you don't have to burn the red shirt with him.
Absolutely. That was the negative last year of Teddy Prohaska, was that his injury happened in Game 5, so he couldn't redshirt. But now Nebraska is getting that back with Teddy. It hurts this football team because you don't have Teddy. You lose Nuri back in June. And so those are two guys that we left spring ball thinking would be starters along the offensive line, and that's a group that struggled, and it's going to probably have to kind of grow up in a hurry if they're going to play better football.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that. I mean, and Jeremiah and I talked about that on the podcast at length about, you know, if one guy goes down, it could provide some question marks. And now Turner's having to move outside and to the tackle spot. And I know he's been working at that, but he hasn't been in that spot for the first few games. And so, yeah, at least you have a bye week to try to get those guys acclimated to some of those shifting around. And again, we've talked a lot about Hunter Anthony and potentially seeing him. I think again, you might see some new personnel that are being inserted into that offensive line moving forward.
He also did say that Brian Buschini is going to be fine, rolled that ankle making the tackle. He punted a couple more times, but then Timmy came in and boomed one, a 50-yard punt, and Timmy was a very good punter at Furman. So I feel good. He thinks Brian will be fine by next week, but even if he's not, I feel good with Timmy.
Absolutely. And Brian Buschini's a guy, he's a team guy, and it's going to be hard keeping him off the field too. He was just over there working whatever he could do to try to get back out there, and I think he'll do what he needs to do. That's another great thing about having a bye week here. Some of those guys that might have been a little banged up over the last couple of weeks, you get some time to get them again healthy again, and Buschini will be one of those guys that hopefully that will be able to take these couple of weeks and get healthy, because he has been a big bright spot for this team.
Indiana does not have a bye week. They are playing Cincinnati. They're a big underdog this week, so they're 3-0. But a big underdog this week, and then they'll come to Lincoln for a game that now is set for 6:30. We did not know the exact time of the game until yesterday. It is 6:30 next Saturday night, October the 1st. We'll flip the calendar into the month of October for the next Husker home football game. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to fire off a text, the same number works for that as well. We also have time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. So a little bit of news there. We'll play you some more clips from Coach Joseph. Kind of more big picture stuff is what I pulled to play in our practice report coming up here in just a little bit. It was a very brief press conference. I don't think it lasted even 15 minutes. He answered a lot of questions. Mickey's pretty brief a lot of times with his responses, but I thought he handled himself really well. He said one of the things that he wished he could do over for the Oklahoma game was maybe try to shorten the game, not go as fast on offense. And somebody called her last night, asked about playing complementary football. Well, Coach Joseph, I don't know that he heard it because I don't think he listens to Sports Nightly on a regular basis, but he knows it, that with your defense struggling, you've got to try to limit possessions to the other team. He knows that. I think he learned that lesson on Saturday.
And I think there's been a couple of different times, maybe going back to the Northwestern game, maybe the North Dakota game, where it was a little too quick of a possession when the defense was pretty gassed and needed a little bit of a breather, get going again. And so, yeah, I mean, and again, you heard the players saying it's on us, but you love to hear Coach Joseph in that role as a leader to say, no, there are some things looking back that I should have done differently and should have tweaked. And it's hard to take on that so quickly and think about all the different things that you have to do just with a week of being in that role. But I think he probably learned a lot in that first week as the interim. And
your thought process has to be totally different.
Yeah.
You're not just worried about one position group and what your 7 or 8 guys are doing. You're worried about the entire thing.
Yeah, so I think he took a lot away from everything that he experienced there in that first week. There's a lot of juggling. I mean, we heard him talking about all the media he had to do. That was new, and all the different things that, and then not to mention just getting a football team through a really an emotional time. And so then, oh, by the way, you got a game plan for the number 6 team in the country.
Right.
There's just a lot. And so I think, moving forward, he'll look at that and depending on the matchup and the teams that you're playing, what works and what you need to do to better help the defense in certain situations.
402-413-2400. Let's go to the phones down in Missouri. Frank, you're going to lead us off tonight. Good evening.
Well, thanks for taking my calls, guys. I think really Mickey's going to do all right. I really think, in my version, that he can get us 5 or 6 more wins because, I'm just tired of him talking about other coaches. Just give him a chance because he was a great motivator when he came out of that tunnel. So I just thought hang up and say thanks, take my call, and tell me your response.
All right, Frank, appreciate it. I had several people text me that they loved his energy bringing the team out, his energy during warm-ups. That caught a lot of people's attention, and that's what Mickey is. That's kind of his whole personality.
Well, and I think I talked to you about that in the pregame, just about kind of throughout this week at times he was a little bit held back compared to some of the times that we've seen Mickey be really energetic, and boy, that returned in a hurry back when he got back on a football field, and the student section was going crazy when he was, hyping the crowd up, and I think the players like that. They love that energy. It's contagious. And I think, it's been an emotional week, but I think eventually when they work through some things, that will be something that this team really buys into is that infectious energy that he absolutely exudes when he's on a football field. Absolutely.
Appreciate the phone call from down in the Show Me State. Again, 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400. Time for our first break. We'll come back with more calls. We can answer some texts, and we'll get into some clips from Mickey Joseph's press conference earlier today. That's coming up next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Both farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every season presents a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, which is lean into every new opportunity. They focus on their roots and continue to stay tougher together with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperative leans on their values of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. Aurora Cooperative, tougher together. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients, so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a Tuesday night here on the Huskers Radio Network. Coming up next hour, it's our volleyball show for the week. The head coach, John Cook, will be here to take your calls, comments, questions. What a great win for them on the road at number 15 Kentucky over the weekend after the loss to Stanford. And they begin conference play Friday night with Michigan State at the Devaney Center. They'll have conference matchups with Sparty Friday, and then the Buckeyes come on Saturday. So back-to-back home matches to begin league play for the Huskers. Time now for our GoCurrency.com Husker football practice report. The interim head coach, Mickey Joseph, met with the media today. This will be the only media access for the entire week for Husker football. And he started out and said kind of what his plan was for this week of practice.
Well, this week, I challenged the kids to get better this week. So our motto this week was Nebraska versus Nebraska. Not worry about Indiana, to get ready and to get better as an individual team. And to get the fundamentals cleaned up and get better in all three phases of the game.
I think that's a beautiful way to attack a bye week. You don't have an opponent to get ready for in a couple of days, so do a self-diagnosis and how can we get better in the next 10 days?
Absolutely. And just, it's Nebraska versus Nebraska, and the things that you can fix and not worry so much about the next opponent and game planning. What are the things that we need to focus on as an internally to get better. And all the players had talked about that post game, the 3 that I talked to, about the things that they all need to focus on, and you know, offense, defense, special teams, all of 3 phases. They know that there's some things that they got to focus on this week.
Well, you knew he would be asked quickly, and he was, about the decision he made on Sunday to relieve Eric Shenander as the defensive coordinator for the Huskers. Here was his response.
He's a good man and a good coach, but the numbers didn't add up. I didn't see us getting better. You know, for 4 weeks, I didn't see us getting better from week 1 to week 4. So, you know, I had to make a decision, the best decision for the kids, because it's about the boys. So I had to make the best decision for the boys.
Well, I wish I could diagnose it and figure out why it didn't, because that defense was really solid a year ago, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but we lost some really good players. But we have a lot of guys that played a lot last year that are back, but it is markedly different than what we saw last season.
Yeah, and I mean, and we've talked a lot about it, but just even though those older 6-year guys that have been around, you know, that mentality and what was instilled in these younger players, and so yeah, it just, I don't know, and I think everybody would love to know how it had dropped off so quickly, but that is just pretty shocking. It's one thing to have a little bit of a slip, being that you have some new pieces and some new places, but to you know, have that big of a drop is just, it's really, it's been shocking.
Sure has. And I said this last night, I've talked to a lot of the coaches on our staff, and I go, did you see this in August? Nope, did not see this kind of drop off from that group. But tough decision that Coach Joseph had to make. He made it, and we move on from here. Bill Busch now will take over that role as defensive coordinator. Coach Joseph was asked about what kind of changes do you think Bill might make, and is Bill ready for this challenge?
We're going to use the same lingo. You know, probably less calls, but we're going to use the same lingo. Bill is Bush for this. Bill is built for this. He's sharp. He's going to, like I say, he's going to be detailed in his qualities. He's a really good football coach, and he'll take care of it. I understand, and Bill understand what I want. Like you said, we spent time together at LSU, and we talked a lot when we was at LSU. He was the safety coach, I was the receiver coach, so we got to compete against each other and share notes and compete against and get after each other on the field. Some people think we don't like each other, but we do. We just get after each other on the field.
I had kind of said this last night about how I'm not surprised that Coach Busch is the guy that Coach Joseph called on to serve in that role, just because they've been through this and have similar experiences of going through this. When LSU ended up winning quite a few games after they had made this type of transition, replacing a head coach, and just a familiarity that they have with each other. I think I was not surprised at all that Bill Busch was the guy that Coach Joseph called upon, and a little similar in how, you know, high energy guys they're all really well liked by the players, loved by the players, and respected, and so yeah, and obviously have no stranger to competing against each other either.
And because they know each other for quite a while, I think that Mickey can ask tougher questions of a guy and know that he's going to get a straight answer back from Bill, and Bill has trust in Mickey, so I think that's going to be a good combination. We're 4 games into a 12-game season, so 33% of the season is gone as we hit this first bye week. The coach was asked, pretty obviously, but is this a good time for a bye week?
Absolutely. You know that, Sip. You asked me that question. You know we needed this bye week. We needed this bye week to reset. These kids haven't had a chance to reset. They had to go from here to here, and then here. It wasn't Oklahoma Panhandle coming in here. It was OU coming in here. So let's be real about it, okay? So yeah, there was a good bye week.
So yeah, pretty obvious, but yes, with the coaching changes, now with the defensive coordinator change, this is a great week to dive into this and get some changes made. As he said in the first clip that we played for you, Nebraska versus Nebraska. So I think locked into that. I think it's a good time for this. And the players probably need a little time to clear their head. And they need a weekend to clear their head too.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, because some of the things you'll work on this week, Indiana, that if you're just game planning for Indiana, that doesn't apply to every single team that you're going to play for the rest of the way out. And so you have to fix some of the things that are you can apply to every single opponent from here on out, which I think, they've said that they have plenty of that to work on. So, and yeah, I think it was such an emotional couple of weeks, and not playing so many different, waves of adversity, not playing how they wanted to play, not having the record that they wanted to play, and then just kind of getting embarrassed last week. I think they needed a little bit of time to, rest, recuperate, and get their minds right, because still said it, and the players have said it, a lot to play for moving forward.
All right, 8 games to go, as I said. So Coach Joseph was asked, what's a realistic goal? What's the goal you put out there for the team with 8 games to go left in this season?
We control our own destiny right now. We have 8 conference games left. So we're gonna get ready. We're gonna compete this week against ourselves. Next week we'll get ready for Indiana, but we're still gonna take one stop sign at a time. And the stop sign this week is Nebraska. Get Nebraska better. Then next week it'll be Indiana. But they understand what they can do. We told them today the ball's gonna be in your court here pretty soon. It's not what you're gonna do with it.
I think there's a feeling that this is just a lost season. Well, you can't say that with 8 games to go. And yeah, there's some tough games still ahead, but there's some winnable games for this football team. So, I just hope people don't just pack it in on this year. There's too much left to be played.
Yeah, absolutely. And these players don't want to pack it in. I mean, and you talk about trying to get to the next level too, which a lot of these players have those aspirations. They're not going to pack it in, first of all, for the team in the locker room, because they still believe in each other and really like the locker room and the guys that they have and playing together. And so, but then you think about your future and how you are going to sell yourself and make a team take a chance on you. It's what kind of film are you going to put out there? And so there's quite a few players that still have the opportunity to make it to the next level. And so you cannot pack it in if you want that opportunity moving forward.
All right, we'll leave you with this one. And Jessica referenced this earlier, and so did Coach Joseph. His time at LSU, he was a part of a staff that was, had gotten blown up during the middle of the season. He was asked, how much can you draw upon that experience and some guys you work for down there to help carry you through what you're going through right now?
I go back to how we practice at LSU. Less reps, speed it up a little bit more. Cut down on it, simplify some things, and not coach the athleticism out of them, and get them playing fast on both sides of the ball, well, all 3 sides of the ball, special teams also.
Interesting, and I don't know that I expected to hear that answer from him, but I was told last week that the practices were quite a bit shorter, and yet there's this sentiment out there that Nebraska wasn't practicing hard enough. But I think Mickey wants harder, faster, better, and maybe not as long of a practice. So we'll see how this all works.
Yeah, and again, I don't really know all the, scheduling of, they have obviously a very detailed schedule of how long they work in between and how long it takes to get to the next one. I mean, the clock's running, and so, maybe that's where he's tweaking it a little bit. Hey, we're gonna move faster between drills and between what we're working on. We're not gonna stand around, and again, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but just move it along faster, move things along quicker, and go a little bit harder for shorter. I don't mind that, as long as, again, if that's part of what he wants to instill, and then, that happens in practice.
Yeah. All right, that's our practice report. Been presented by Currency. Does your business need quick, easy, and secure financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. All right, phone lines back open for you, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. We're back with more here on the show next.
Get your Ford your way at Woodhouse Ford. Completely customize your next vehicle and ensure that you are getting exactly what you're looking for. From cargo space to tires and even safety features, you can easily design a vehicle that meets all your needs. Plus, we make the process stress-free with 3 convenient locations and the ability to view all our inventory in one place at WoodhouseFord.com. You shouldn't have to settle, so start building your next vehicle at Woodhouse Ford today.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne. Thank you for your support of Teammates mentoring programs. Because of your generosity, we are able to continue our mission to positively impact the world by inspiring students to reach their full potential through mentoring. Please go to www.teammates.org.
This message is sponsored by the NEX Cashback app. Earn 15% cash back on every purchase, every store, every day at Nebraska Crossing in Gretna, the official shopping center of the Huskers.
Shelley at the top of the key. Screen for Izzy Bourne. Jazz Shelley down the right lane line. Challenges Martin. And it counts. And a foul. Rim. Body ball. And Jazz Shelley will go to the line for the three-point play.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, join us for Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. In Hour 1, we'll take the latest tour around the Big Ten with the Big Ten Blitz. In Hour 2, we'll sit down with Nebraska women's basketball guard Jazz Shelley. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
I'm so glad we called SOS. Our AC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Take it from the coldest. We will keep you cool this summer.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we help you find vehicles designed with purpose and function.
prioritizing safety, technology, and the dependability you need. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo to shop in-stock and inbound inventory, or to order your new vehicle. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here. It is a Tuesday night Husker Volleyball show at the top of the hour. The head coach will be here to answer your comments, calls, and questions. JB fired up and ready. Good to have him back with us tonight. 402-413-2400. Call or text. John in Salina, Kansas said, I expect Nebraska to spend about $9 million for their head coach and the two coordinators. How would you allocate that cost? Well, I need to know who the head coach is and how decorated they are, because I think that depends. If you go get a guy that's won Super Bowls or national championships or conference titles, you pay them more than somebody that's just done a really good job at a place. So I need to know that first.
Yeah, and then whoever that is, it kind of depends on who he wants to bring in, and if you're having to take them from somewhere else, or if you think that person is instrumental in what you want to establish here, then you might pay him a little bit more. I think there's just so much. It's impossible to tell that number right now with not knowing who the people and the pieces in place are going to be.
Total speculation at that point. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. To Omaha we go. Jonathan, you're up next on the program. Good evening.
Good evening. How you guys doing?
Great.
Hey, so question is kind of regards coaching, right? You know me, I'm about analytics, statistics, all that stuff, feelings out of it. I know people want Fickle from Cincinnati. He's the coach of the Bearcats, right?
He is, yes.
Okay, and Leopold from Kansas, right?
Uh-huh.
I think we're pretty high on those guys, rightfully so. But with the Big 12 expanding, adding UCF and Cincinnati, and going to have 3 of the 4 major recruiting hubs in one conference, wouldn't that just say, hey, you know, Nebraska's not as appealing because of the recruiting? Even with, you know, USC about to join, you have 2 major conference or major states for recruiting compared to 3 in the Big 12, and maybe a little less competitive on paper at least. So maybe it's easier to excel in the Big 12 with the expansion coming than the Big 10, even though you're going to be at Nebraska. What do you think?
This is going to be an interesting test, I think, in the next off year. And Jonathan, thanks for the call, because pretty soon these Big 10 and SEC schools are going to have a lot more money to play with because of their monster TV deals than some of those other leagues. And so are they just going to go poach the Big 12s, the ACC, and the Pac-12s because they can pay more, because they just have more money to spend? I think it's going to be an interesting test to go that. I had not heard Luke Fickell's name thrown around, so you threw one at me there that I haven't even heard anybody mention. But again, there's 500 names we're going to hear between now and whenever the decision is made. But I think it's interesting to see, do the schools in the Big 10 and the SEC start going to poach these other conferences and grab their head coaches because they can pay them more?
Yeah, and I mean, and as far as the point of maybe it being easier to compete in the Big 12, well, I think probably most coaches want a shot to coach in the best conferences,
Sure.
right? And to go see what they can do in the Big 10 or SEC. And so will there be some that are settled in and like what they have going in a program? Absolutely. But I think, you know, a lot of them will absolutely jump at the opportunity. But I mean, again, yes, we're going to have so many names. Like you said, the list is so long, and who knows how this thing unfolds and who's going to be available and who. And we were talking about this in a commercial break, and you know, this is a big hire for Trevor Alberts, one of his first. I know he's hired a couple of coaches, but this will be one of his biggest, or the biggest so far since he's been here. So we don't know what his hiring, what he looks like when he hires. Some ADs have a certain track record of certain coaches that they try to bring in certain positions, but yeah, this will be fascinating. Who knows what's going through Trev's mind at this point?
ADs are judged by their hires.
Yeah.
At the big sport level. That's just the fact and the way it is. In fact, Trev was kind of asked a question about that when he made the announcement of the change, and he said, you guys will decide my fate because you guys will ultimately judge my decisions that I make. Brian in York on our text line said, I don't think enough has been talked about our lack of strength and conditioning with this team. Everyone can see this team is out of condition and out of shape, and that can and that can make a not so good team look just much worse. That's not the only problem we have, but I think it's a big problem among big problems. We did talk about this quite a bit last night, Brian. I think that's a fair statement. It goes back to the decision that was made to maybe even go in the August where they did the 3 days on and 1 day off. That I think was, scientifically people said that was the way to go. They did it. Did that hurt? I don't know. But I think that's a fair point, and that has to be examined by Nebraska in the offseason on strength and conditioning. We'll see. Hey, also, from Oklahoma Husker, and he said he made the trip from Oklahoma to Lincoln on Saturday. It was a great experience. I've had Oklahoma fans that made the trip also expressed to me that Lincoln was the best college football experience they've ever had. They are excited to come back in 2029. Great job, Nebraska. Go Big Red. You had a lot of Oklahoma people up here. I hope they all enjoyed themselves.
Oh, they did. They loved it, all saying how great and welcoming Nebraska fans were. And I saw somebody, one of my friends that posted some pictures. He said, I highly recommend, they drove an RV up here and camped. I highly recommend getting in an RV and spending some time in Nebraska because it was awesome. And how about the email that we got from Fox today that said it was probably one of their top 3 crowds that they've ever had on a big noon kickoff. And so I think, I understand the game unfolded a little bit unlike how anybody wanted it to, and it got a little out of hand. And so the atmosphere in game might not have been as crazy and as wild as we would have hoped, but as leading up to it and surrounding it, I mean, I can't tell you how many compliments I've seen and heard and gotten from Oklahoma people that how much they enjoyed their time here. And I even saw a poll today from someone that they said with again with Oklahoma moving out, and I think Bedlam, they announced that Bedlam no longer is going to happen. Yep. Which team do you want to see Oklahoma add in their non-conference every year? And Nebraska was one of the ones that was on that list, and a lot of people voted for that. So I think, and I got a lot of people bragging about the city and how great Lincoln is and the Haymarket and all of that.
And going back to Jonathan's question about would guys rather stay in certain leagues, the huge attraction for this job is this stadium and this fan base and the fact that that's full every day. You go to a lot of places and you don't get that kind of an atmosphere. And coaches know that. They talk amongst themselves. They know where football is important. They know what kind of support they're going to get. And that's what makes this place still a very attractive place to go come and coach.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, these are competitors that want to perform in front of atmospheres. That's what fuels them, and so a lot of these guys want to go to where they're going to be able to play in the best atmospheres, and that's what you just can't match it. And that's why all of these coaches from different programs bring in their recruits to come to a football game, to a home football game, and at night, and to experience. Hey, this is the fan base that we have every single week, and they don't just support football like this. This is what a lot of these fans are going to come watch you play, and they really invest in their athletics teams. But yeah, I mean, there's very few places in college football that match the kind of atmosphere that Nebraska has every single week, and it's no doubt one of the biggest selling pitches when you have a recruit coming in.
Coaches will tell you if we can get them on campus on a football game day, we got a great chance of getting that athlete to come to school here as well. So, keep the faith. That's why you never say never with this program because of all those things. And past coaches have said you can't buy tradition. And those 5 national championship trophies aren't going anywhere. They're going to be in that case forever. Those 3 Heisman trophies sit there forever. And so those are still great selling points for Trev Alberts to take out and go talk to people. Troy Aikman on Fox Sports really got after his alma mater this weekend. Played at UCLA, called it embarrassing, the crowds that they've been getting for their football games, which are just despicable. You look at this, a town of 8 million people, and they have 15,000 at the Rose Bowl for a game? It's awful. He goes, this is embarrassing. UCLA better pick it up and better fix this problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that from the start, and when teams from the Big Ten travel to LA, because especially like a fan base like Nebraska that has a lot of fans that are going to be in California, it's not going to be a road game for these teams. It's actually probably going to be more of a home game. And so it's really sad. And I don't know. And on the flip side of that conversation we were just having, I don't know how you sell recruits to come here and play in front of this.
How do you bring them in there going, there's nobody here?
You're like, well, if you come here, maybe you can help increase the crowd.
Wow.
I don't know. Like, if I'm an athlete, I don't want to go play there in that atmosphere.
Right.
It's sad. It's really sad for those players.
Hey, Husker football is offering a Big Ten mini plan. $200 includes tickets to the Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Those are the 4 home games remaining, all league games. If you have an interest in that, they're going quick, huskers.com/tickets. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap it up next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Sports Alley Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Just a couple of minutes left for us. JB and head coach John Cook will be here next hour talking Husker volleyball. They are ready to embark on league play. Starts Friday with the Spartans coming into the Devaney Center to take on the Big Reds. Get your comments, questions ready for the coach. Tomorrow night, we'll have another edition of the Big Ten Blitz, and you have sat down recently with Jazz Shelley to talk about her upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, I did the math today, 40 days until the first exhibition game for women's basketball. And, of course, opening night coming up a week from Friday with men's and women's basketball. It's
ESTG.
free. Yes, and I know he's number one on your playlist, on your iPod.
Every night, walk the dog, and that's what it's playing every night right there, like clockwork.
On your iPod. So, yeah, it should be fun. I can't wait to have more conversations about hoops as they get ready to start. The men's basketball team starts practice next week, so can't wait for that. And, yeah, Jazz will be on with us here next, or I guess tomorrow night.
Good. Looking forward to that. So we'll have that for you tomorrow night. And we'll have more on hoops as we get closer. I think Coach Hoiberg maybe is going to have a media thing next week as they get ready for that opening night thing and they start practice. So we're getting closer to all that happening and looking forward to that as that is sneaking up on us as we get closer to basketball season. Some of the magazines, I think, have hit the newsstand, so looking forward to all of that.
Magazines, you get basketball magazines too?
See, I'm going to get made fun of again because I still buy some magazines. People make fun of me because I buy magazines. JB, help me out here. I'm not that old, am I? I like to read a magazine. I like it in my hand. I like to be able to hold on to it. See? JB likes paper.
Well, you know.
I mean, it's an easy way to track it when you have the magazines. All the schedules are right there at your disposal, so. They do still have a lot of them in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So that's it. So. All right, that'll do it for the night. Appreciate everybody being a part of this program here tonight. Don't go away. JB, John Cook, the Volleyball Hour coming up in the next few minutes. Hey, buckle up.
JB's
Put that
back.
phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back with you tomorrow night. Full 2 hours headed your way tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter Agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont, Katie Barkman in Columbus, or Janelle Moore in Holdridge.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is the Husker Volleyball Radio Show with head coach John Cook. Presented by Bank of the West and your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
Back row, Kendall, Kip, triple block! Triple block! Krause with two hands on that baby. It's 18-12 all Huskers so far.
Now to tie this baby late in the first. The serve goes to Rollins. High pass, joust at the net. Set left. Big swing by Aaron Lamb. Husker volleyball to tie it. Check back right side. Maggie Middleton's first swing. It's a kill. Here comes the serve. Tied at 23 late in the first. Good pass. Right side swing. Taylor. Nice up by Maddie Kubik. Now to take the lead. Bump set left. Nebraska. Krause off hands. And out of bounds. That's 3 in a row. 1, 2, and 3 in a row. She handles this one with a nice pass. Quick attack. Caitlin Hard. Great connection with Kennedy Orr. Kaboom. 19-10. Served by Kinsey. Just over. Good pass by the libero. Left side swing. Rollins. Block back. Woody Lonstein. Caitlin Hard. Collaborate on that one. Again, Nebraska fed right. Lonstein through the double block. It's all Huskers. 5-1 set 3 after winning the second by 5 and the first by 2. Rutherford. Here come the Big Red. Set in the middle. Caitlin Hard tipping. The donut is open. Match over. Caitlin Hard, look at that big smile.
Here is your host, John Baylor, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Greetings, Nebraska. Hello. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, we told you, and we're delivering. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, it's your Nebraska volleyball show. Hey, win the first 7, play Stanford. These things happen. Goes 4, a couple deuce games go the other way. But the matinee Sunday from Kentucky's second largest city, and the Big Red wins a deuce game to start that match. And then it was 17 each in the second, and from then on it was all Huskers. Complete domination. You can thank that short serve. Hey, did you watch that? Hopefully not. Hopefully you listened to it. And what we described to you was it was a short serve, and all the Kentucky Wildcats are all clustered, and their offense became super predictable. They had to set to the outside. Huskers had 4 hands in the face of the outside attackers, and it was all Big Red the rest of the way. Kentucky, the number 13 team in the country, got swept by your now number 3 Huskers on Sunday. And now say hello. The Big Ten Conference schedule. It bears repeating. This is a gauntlet of high-quality volleyball. It starts off with Michigan State. They're a little down. Do not be fooled by their 9-2 record. 9-2 against all unranked teams. They are rebuilding a brand spanking new coach. Leah Johnson, great pedigree, lots of success, 5 years head coach at Illinois State. Before that, 6 years at SIU Edwardsville. So she's been successful everywhere she went. Back at Illinois State, in Bloomington, Illinois, 104-53. 104-53, 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments. So Michigan State got a really good, fairly young female coach, and their future is very bright. But they lost Sarah Franklin. She transferred to Wisconsin. She's starting for them now. So they lost their best outside hitter. And this is a team that's going to have surprise and upset on their mind. Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Devaney, as Michigan State 9-2, all time against the Big Red, 2-23, and they've lost 12 in a row. There were so many great matches early on in 2013, 14, 15, soon after the Huskers joined the Big Ten, between the Big Red and Michigan State, especially up there. But it's been all Huskers. Haven't played Michigan State a lot recently with COVID and other schedule interruptions. But we got them on Friday night, 7 o'clock, 6:30 airtime on the HRN. And then the big one, Saturday night, 4-4 Ohio State. The Buckeyes were number 5. They have dropped to number 7. But listen to the teams they've vanquished. Number 3, Louisville. That's right. Now number 2, the Cardinals lost to Ohio State in 4. Also, Ohio State beat number 10 BYU in 3 and beat number 5 Georgia Tech in 4. Ohio State has 3 victories against top 10 opponents. Their 4 losses, twice to number 1 Texas, once to the surprise of the sport, San Diego. The Toreros have found their way to number 4 in the country, and they can thank the portal. They got 5 transfers, 3 from the Big Ten. and they've got a couple former Indiana Hoosiers who were not happy with Steve Aird and Indiana and headed to San Diego. Bloomington to San Diego, logical. And they got Gabby Blossom, their setter. So San Diego beat Ohio State, and then Pitt, bit of a surprise in 3 over Ohio State on Sunday. I'm John Baylor. Great to have you, and you can actually participate at 402-413-2400, 402-413-2400. Here's the star of the Nebraska Volleyball Show, head coach John Cook. Good evening.
Good evening, JB.
Coach, your arrival was somewhat tardy, and I'm wondering if it was the heat that slowed you down out there. Like August is sticking around.
Well, JB, I reminisce about the old days. I actually went down to the Haymarket and realized it was here.
You would. You see a lot of couples like gazing into each other's eyes, holding hands. That place is a mixer down there.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I had to do a press conference after practice today because we didn't do a press conference yesterday. So I had to wait for all the Huskers to go, and so anyway, it's a busy day.
Press conference after practice, because normally you do it at lunch, but there's no football press conference this week. So you had your own standalone at the Devaney. And can I guess the first question?
Go ahead.
Coach, we normally listen to the radio, but we did on Twitter see a video of a response you made after the match regarding becoming a defensive coordinator. And you once were a defensive coordinator in football. Please explain.
That's good because nobody asked that, and I didn't say anything. But so the story behind that is, so I did the interview with ESPN2 after the match. Whitney went and entertained everybody, and then I went. And so Holly McPeak, who I've known since she was a little beach player in SoCal, and I watched her play for UCLA. I mean, she's goes way back. So anyway, my days when I was teaching at Francis Parker, and before that when I was coaching football, she was in the beach circuit and everything. So I kind of just said, hey, remember the San Diego days? You know, I used to, because she asked about our defensive effort, and I said, yeah, it was good. We really pride ourselves on that. And I said, you know, if you remember, in San Diego, I was a defense coach football, and I was a defensive coordinator. So I've always taken that with me. We're going to train defense every day, and I'm a defensive-minded coach, and if I ever coach football, I'd want to be a D coordinator. So that's what that came out. And, of course, at the time, I didn't know the changes going on, and again, I was in the tank after that because I feel bad for these football coaches. It's a tough business, and, it's a really tough deal. So, but I had no idea what was going on or anything, and so some people, assumed I was lobbying to be the defensive coordinator. So I'm not. But I want our team to play good defense, and the thing I said on there was, if you play good defense every night, you have a chance. And again, I got schooled a lot by Russ Rose in Penn State when I first started at Wisconsin. So. I learned from Penn State. You learn how to be successful when you're playing them 2 times a year, and they always played great defense. They always served tough, and I just thought, okay, this is one of the formulas to help build a program is play great defense.
How is your squad this year playing such suffocating defense when you're serving, at least by Nebraska standards, is so off? You got 27 aces and 83 errors so far this year.
Yeah, it's tragic.
So, imagine if the serves were going in or even tougher, how great you would be at defense.
Yeah, it's tragic. I mean, we just did we study every week our stats and compare to last year, the year before, just where are we at? So I have a gauge, and we call it a self-scout, and in every category, we're at the top of all of our best teams, with the exception of serving, and it's tragic. Part of the problem is we've got Kennedy, who's served some, who's struggling with that. Becca it's a ace or error, but she's been high error. But the tough thing has been, Kenzie and Lexi have been high air, and so we started working on some technical changes last week and today, and I think we'll get that cleaned up. Those two could be really good servers. And then Maddie Kubik, who's been one of our weaker servers over the last 3 years, is actually our top server right now. And then, of course, Nicklin hasn't been in. So Nicklin has been one of our best servers. So we've got new servers going, and that there's where some of the errors are coming in.
Would you ever consider urging them to be less aggressive, ensuring the ball goes in more often?
Serving is always a fine line. I would like him to be more aggressive because I think some of our misses they are trying to just keep it in instead of just going up and thumping and let the ball move. So, and that's one of the reasons we started letting Whitney serve. Whitney's got a great serve, and she's starting to show she can be consistent with that. So, it's something we got to get better at, and we work hard on it, and we'll continue to work hard on it. But we weren't very good at this time last year either. But when we got to the Big Ten, we started becoming a great serving team.
Coach, fans will look at the results of Tuesday night against Stanford and then the huge turnaround against Kentucky and just assume, oh my goodness, the team played so much differently, and what a great comeback game for the Big Red on Sunday. Did you play that much differently, or were those games just really close and the close ones went to Stanford Tuesday and they went to Nebraska on Sunday?
No, we played much better against Kentucky, and winning that first game, close game, gave us a big shot of confidence. And we played well. I mean, we only have 9 attack errors, I think, on the night. Yeah, I think it was 9 attack errors. I think 3 of them were blocked, and 5 of them. I mean, a couple of them were just, kind of just trying to keep the ball in play type thing. Maddie had a couple, so they really weren't attack errors. So we were really low air attacking, which made us good. And then our serve blocking defense was really good. I mean, we held the top offensive team in the country to 141 hitting. So that's pretty impressive on their home court.
Yep, 9 attack errors against Kentucky. Yeah. That's 3 per set. 21 against Stanford, and that's
I think we made 9 attack errors in the first 5 minutes of practice today. So, yeah.
Here's Tom from Omaha, Nebraska. Hello, Tom. You're on with the head coach of Nebraska Volleyball, John Cook.
Hello, how are you today, John?
Good, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hey, I had a question. What did Caitlin Horde bring from Penn State to teach Nebraska about blocking? And what did Nebraska teach Caitlin Horde to change her blocking techniques?
Really good question. She, at Penn State, they had a certain way of training blocking, which is, I would call it old school, and I think a lot of the things that Penn State did were old school, and she's very good at it. And we're trying to teach her to be more like some international type middles as the game gets faster, and trying to get her to add a little bit more to her toolbox. And I think she really likes it, and she's learning, and some days it's tough and some days it's really good. So those are the 2 things. But, she's a great blocker, and it doesn't matter how you do blocking if you're a great blocker. You can do it several different ways. But we're just trying to, as we call it, upgrade or try to take her to another level and learn some new things. But she's very well coached and very well trained coming from Penn State, as we know they have a great program there and they know how to train.
I know that was her intention coming here, to enhance her prospects in international play. So.
Yeah, and that's, she wants to play it internationally. She's got to learn how to, start heading in that direction.
Doesn't she have to play back row as well if she's going to play internationally?
Yeah, we're actually teaching her how to serve, and she's got a really good serve. She's a very good defensive player. We just got to get her serve more consistent. She's never served, so we're actually teaching her to serve, because internationally, you're right, she's going to have to serve. So we completely redid her serve, and we're letting her work on it, some every day, and it's actually starting to look pretty good.
And is that a little bit by necessity to save a substitution to let her serve, or not really?
Well, no, because we could get to that point, yes, but libero serves in one of those spots. Internationally, the liberos don't get to serve, so the middles have to serve, and again, we want to try to prepare her for that. So we kind of completely retooled her serve, because I don't think she's never really served, in club or high school or at Penn State. And I don't even know, how much they really worked on it. But she said she wanted to learn how to serve. She said, okay, we're going to teach you.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. And this one also brought to you by Dorothy Lynch, Homestyle and Light and Lean Dressing. Endless flavorabilities. More Nebraska Volleyball Show after you hear this.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
Coody could pass. Jack back right side. That's a Shawnee Tila. Big block. Lindsey Krause, Becca Alec.
It's a block Mardi Gras. 23-12 Nebraska.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for Sports Nightly at 6 p.m. as we make our college football picks of the week before Nebraska Volleyball takes over at 6:30 p.m. with their matchup against Michigan State. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
The Mazda lineup of SUVs will provide safety, performance, and capability on your journey ahead. From the 3-row Mazda CX-9 to the first-ever Mazda CX-50, our sales team is ready to guide you to the SUV for your lifestyle. Shop the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or Woodhouse Place Mazda. Visit us online for your next Mazda SUV at woodhousemazda.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Subaru loves building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The 2023 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. With 182 horsepower, you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it in a Crosstrek. 182 horsepower engine available on select models. DeToe Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at DeToeSubaru.com.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions apply.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to your Nebraska Volleyball Show. Your Huskers now number 3 in the land, 8-1 as we conclude the non-conference schedule and say hello to the Big Ten. Michigan State and Ohio State this weekend, both 7 o'clock at the Devaney, Friday and then Saturday night. The official co-op of Husker Nation, Central Valley Ag, invites you to participate in the Volleyball Radio Show. Whether you text from the tractor or call from the combines, farmer feedback is always welcomed on the Husker Radio Network, thanks to Central Valley Ag. And Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy. It is the law with the head coach, John Cook. My name's John Baylor. Here's Bonnie in Omaha. Greetings, Bonnie. You're on the Nebraska Volleyball Show.
Good evening. I have got a question. I don't know if it's an important one, but I've always wondered why there's only, is it 15 substitutes that you can have? And is it for a set or is it for the whole match? And why is there a limited number when most sports you can substitute, as many as you want? And I was just curious about that.
Yeah. Bonnie, I got a question for you. Are you on a combine tonight? Or, because it's about combine season, isn't it?
No, I'm a farm girl, but no,
Okay.
I'm not on a combine.
Okay. All right. That's a great question, and I'm going to go off here on this because in college volleyball, it's 15 subs per game, and so that's a lot of subs right there. And but internationally, the rest of the world, any volleyball outside the United States plays by international rules, and including the men in the United States plays by the international rules. There's only 6 subs. I would prefer the 6 subs for several reasons because, and I'll just tell you a quick story. 2006, we're in Omaha playing in the Final Four, and UCLA's best player,
Meredith.
No, what's her name?
Nina Meriwether.
Nina Meriwether, who ended up being Miss America.
Yeah.
She was their best player, great player. Well, she goes in the back row. They sub her out. She's a middle blocker. And we go on a 10-point run, come back and win. And the first question I get asked in the press conference is, why did UCLA take out their best player? So a lot of times, these games are going on, these big points, but the best players aren't in the match. So I think it would create you'd have to really train your team, and it would bring back the smaller players, the 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot players that can play the game. So to me, it would be great, and it would be easier to follow without people coming in and out. And so I would prefer that. But college wants to play. So what happens is, what drives this is, let's say there's a Division II school or Division III school. A lot of them may have 30 kids on the team because they're trying to increase enrollment. And John Baylor could talk more about the college enrollment and building that. So they want to have these rules so they can play a lot of players. And so there's your answer.
You'd like to see fewer specialists. You want to see more all-around players, whereas Bonnie's thinking, hey, in every other sport, hockey, basketball, come in and out as many times as you want. There's no limit.
Yeah, but volleyball is different in that you rotate 6 positions. So there's really 6 little games going on, and you're rotating. So you have restrictions. You have front row players, back row players. There's that 10-foot line that divides kind of responsibilities and what you can do. So volleyball is a different game, and yes, but that's a great question by her, and so there's 2 ways to look at it.
Most fans would think, well, because there are so many players allowed to get in, even 15 subs per game.
But remember, up until we used to have less subs and no libero. Then we went 15 subs and added a libero, which libero is in there for 5.5 rotations. So now you got 15 subs plus a libero.
So most people would think, okay, that's allowing that short kid to get in there and play, whereas you're saying possibly.
No.
You're going to get
you got
more.
It wrong. So what it means is you're going to recruit these tall giants, and there's only so many of them. They're in front row. There's only so many Anna Schmirks, Breon Butlers. So they're going to be in the front row, and then they're coming out on the back row. And you're going to put basically a libero back there for them, or a defensive specialist. So it allows the top teams to stack up on those more physical players. There's only so many to go around. But if they had to play all the way around, it would be a game changer. Because now they have to play defense. They have to serve. They have to, they're going to potentially have to pass. And so that brings back the Ani Albrights would be they're the ones that be making the most NIL money right there. So you heard it here first.
Nice. You'd have to be more versatile, and the coaches would have to coach more.
Absolutely, because you're going to have to train everybody. And I think it would be, the best coaches are going to find, would be winning because they would have to train their teams. And they would have to, I just go back to Jenny Kropp back in 2000. I mean, she basically won the Final Four for us as a middle playing all the way around, hitting out of the back row, serving. But in the last middle we saw play all the way around, beat us in 11, and K-State. I always can't remember her name. I can picture her like she's imprinted in my brain.
I try to forget her name.
Yeah.
She's
on the anti-Husker team.
She's on the all-time anti-Husker team. We'll get that name for you. 402-413-2400. 402-413-2400. Okay, the operative question that everyone wants an answer to is, how's Nicklin's health, and how's Kennedy Orr doing as center?
Kennedy had a pretty good day today. Nicklin is still out, and so it's kind of, again, she needs some rest and a while till things calm down. Allie Battenhorst is back in practice today.
Nice.
Went through all of practice. We limited her reps, but she jumped one of her highest jumps ever today in the Vertec we test after practice to see where they're at and how fresh they are, what their legs are doing. So it's good to have her back. So right now, the only person that we don't have in practice is Nicklin.
With the back row seemingly digging most volleyballs, I mean, the defense you put up against Kentucky was stifling, and with Kennedy improving, et cetera, do you have the couple, 3 weeks, whatever the injury might be?
I don't know if it's a luxury, but it is what it's the way it has to be. I mean, you can't until she's healthy and can go. It's not much we can do. So we don't know what the timetable is.
Here's Drew in Platts with Nebraska. Drew, great to have you on the Nebraska Volleyball Show.
Oh, thanks. Hey, Coach. My question is regarding the youth development and the clubs and the cost that it is to play on these club teams. I guess what would your recommend? Maybe has aspirations of playing at a very high level, but whose parents can't afford to spend thousands of dollars to have them on almost like a daily type training at some of these clubs. Like, what can they be doing to improve their game? And I guess how does volleyball in general not get into the situation to where they're pricing girls out of playing? So I'm just going to hang up and listen. Thank you.
Drew, really good question. My answers would be this. First of all, back in the old days before there was club, and I would encourage people to look into this, you would go to the YMCA, you would go to open gyms, there was adult leagues. And back when I first started coaching, I would tell our players in the summer, get in an adult league, go play against guys, older women, but there's adult leagues you can play in. So that would be one way to get in the gym.
But these are like 8, 9, 10-year-old girls. So he wants to know, how do I get my daughter?
Oh, I would have them play all the sports they can and not worry about specializing in volleyball until maybe they get to high school.
But then they probably can't go to a Class A high school because he might not be able to make the team.
Can. I think that I disagree with that. I got All-American Wall to prove it. Multi-sport athletes excel.
But did they go to big old high schools? But they played all sports, didn't they?
Jordan Larson went to Hooper. It's a big school.
That's my point. Is she could play all these different sports, and you knew she was going to make the team. And once you're on the varsity team as a 9th grader, or at least in the program, you've got those 4 years to get better. But sometimes these players, they go to a Bellevue West, and they haven't been able to afford the club, and they get there and they get cut from the team.
Yeah, I just look at Kim Behrens, Angela Oxley, those guys. I mean, they didn't have clubs, but they had a great program with Steve Morgan and Ogallala. That would be my second thing is, if they're younger, get them in the YMCA program. That's very low cost. They get to play a lot. And then I know the clubs, Maggie Griffin at VCN, for example, in Lincoln. I'm sure this is in Omaha, and he's from Plattsmouth. But they have lower structured teams that, for example, I think they play 8 Saturdays in a row. It's $100 or something like that. And they get to play, they get to do it. They come in and practice, and then they play. So that way they can do all these other sports. They get to play volleyball, and they're building their skills.
How much progress can a 10 or 11, 12-year-old girl make just with her dad or mom just peppering in the backyard?
Well, I mean, I had to replace basement walls in my basement, and but yeah, if there's a ball in a wall, they can play. We used to, my kids, we'd have out balloons, and we'd play, make a fake little net in the basement and play with balloons.
With my daughter, I was thinking, I'm not sure we got to go to Rapid City and watch you out in the outfield for the whole day. We'll go up to the vacant lot, and we're going to play catch for like an hour. You're going to make a lot more progress. So there's a lot to be said for mom and dad early on, playing with them, because if you have, even if you're not a former volleyball player yourself, it's pretty easy to pick up pepper and get a lot out of that.
Yeah, I try to find a good area with YMCA or a good youth program that a lot of the high school coaches run. They've got their JVs, and freshman coaches are working with the elementary school kids and the junior high kids. I mean, you look at, for example, Columbus SCOTUS out in Columbus. I mean, John Peterson, his whole staff was starting in 3rd grade, and here they go. A lot of the Catholic schools do that, and they put out a lot of good teams and good players.
I love all this pumping up of the YMCA. YMCAs are awesome. Here's Gus in Lincoln. Gus, great to have you on the Nebraska Volleyball Show. Hello, Gus.
Hello, Coach. Hey, how you doing?
Great.
So I'm an idiot season ticket holder, and you're a national championship coach, but here I go. I think our best shot at a national championship is a 5-1, with Kennedy as our setter and Nicholas as the defensive specialist. What does Kennedy have to do to get us to that place?
Yeah, Gus, I think you're on to something there. Kenny's got to become more consistent, get her serve in, and just build her confidence. And, you see it building every week. We actually chart what our team hits off of each setter in the 6-2, so I know what our team's hitting off Kennedy. I know what our team's hitting off Nicklin. I know what our team's hitting off of Ani. And Kennedy is starting to show that we hit the best off of her. But to run a 5.1, you know, she doesn't get that break right now. So we're building toward that, and that would be a great system for us. Believe me, I've thought a lot about it, and so we'll see where we go. But you're absolutely right.
Gus. Yeah. Just coming in there and just saying, here's how I do it.
Gus is probably on the combine.
Oh, look. He's a coach. Callers from Lincoln and Omaha are probably not on combines.
Oh. They're just their phone numbers from Lincoln.
Yeah, good point. They're out there south of town. I love it.
When do the combines fire up? I mean, I haven't been out in the country.
They're
lately.
out there right now.
They're starting to.
They're chewing tobacco. They got the radio on.
They're starting to harvest corn, soybeans.
In the neck of the woods.
Okay.
Pretty soon. 402-413-2400. But the drought hasn't helped, so that's why my timing might be a little off with this drought.
Yeah, I don't. But see, I used to live out on the edge, out on the East Lincoln, on the edge out there, so I could hear those big combines going, and I knew when they were going. But now I live downtown. All I hear is the yahoos on O Street with no mufflers. I tell you what, I want.
Can we get pigeons? Don't knock the pigeons.
Can we get the mayor on the show to talk about? We need to get a muffler rule in Lincoln, because I live downtown. Coach, it is loud down there, and sometimes it's loud at night.
If you're a single guy, if you have a quiet car, you're struggling socially.
In California, they have rules against that.
And they still find dates.
Yeah, absolutely.
402-413, it's a different part of the country. 402-413-2400, more Nebraska Volleyball Show after you hear this.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Can you name one thing that's more exciting than football in Nebraska? Okay, maybe not, but there's something that comes close. Scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. That's right. Choose from a variety of play styles with huge top prizes. There's something fun for everyone. So, when football isn't on, pick up some scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
Subaru loves building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The 2023 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. With 182 horsepower, you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it in the Crosstrek. 182 horsepower engine available on select models. DeToe Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at DeToeSubaru.com.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients, so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For 46 years, our focus has been our customers at Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont.
Come see for yourself how easy buying your new car, truck, or SUV at Sid Dillon can be. Stop by our dealership in Fremont to order your new vehicle and shop in-stock and inbound inventory. And if you need a commercial vehicle, we're your GMC Business Elite dealer. Shop at SidDillonBuickGMC.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
GMC, we are professional grade.
I'm so glad we called SOS. Our AC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Scrawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Take it from the coldest. We will keep you cool this summer.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Welcome back. The Nebraska Volleyball Show, 7 until 8, usually each Tuesday during the season. Huskers are 8-1, #3 in the land. Michigan State Friday night, #7 Ohio State Saturday night. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. And women-owned businesses are vital to a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and responsible contribution to community and the planet. Bank of the West is proud to provide resources, training, and solutions to help you achieve your goals. Learn more at bankofthewest.com. Member FDIC. Steve in Omaha, you're on with the head coach of Nebraska Volleyball, John Cook. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, I'm here. I got a suggestion on the survey,
Okay.
and that is to put a face on the volleyball. That's in that show Castaway.
Yes.
And have that have the women there serve, and maybe that'll inspire them to serve better.
So he lost me there.
It was a contrarian approach to getting serves in. But I'm wondering, after timeouts, seems to be a huge preponderance of service errors.
Tell me about it.
After a timeout, do you ever just go up to your player's about to serve and just say, GII, get it in?
JB, this is what I told him at Kentucky. I'm not kidding you. We missed a serve after, and the next timeout I said, hey guys, I'm going to go call Trev when I get back, and I'm going to get in my contract. Every time I call a timeout and the other team misses a serve, I get a bonus. Because you guys are giving those other coaches bonuses every time you miss a serve after a timeout. You're making them look good. So we all need to get bonuses if we can call a timeout and get them to miss.
It's a mental deal. It happens so often. There's this great Dave Van Horn story. He takes over the baseball program. They're out in Hawaii in the spring. And his third baseman, I think Brian Harrington was his name, Kevin Harrington, I believe, is bunting. First bunt, foul. Second bunt, foul. Okay? Harrington looks at his coach, Dave Van Horn, in the third base box. With two strikes, you're not supposed to bunt.
Right.
Van Horn walks towards home plate and just yells. No signs. He just goes, "You bunt this ball fair or you're sitting the rest of the trip."
Love it.
And guess what happened? He bunted it fair.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Get this serve in. Here's Gene in Beatrice, Nebraska. Hello, Gene. Great to have you on the Nebraska Volleyball Show.
Hey, thanks, JB. And Coach Cook, I just wanted to start with State of Nebraska Volleyball. Today's polls are when it come out. Wayne State, #1 division, or in the second lower tier. Kearney, #7. Creighton up there. University of Omaha, they took us to 5 last year. What you do for Nebraska volleyball is unbelievable. Your chemistry with other coaches for these girls is unbelievable. That's my first compliment. The second one is having your daughter and making sure that JB stays with the broadcasts with some of us that got to listen on the broadcasts. I mean, who talks about block Mardi Gras? That's just amazing. You've got a good chemistry there. And my question, Coach Cook, is the crazy bunch up in the upper tier in the standing room. Can Devaney expand any? Those guys make noise. Can Devaney expand any to be able to get us to 10,000? I know that I won't even talk about the records for seating, and our record got broke. But what about Devaney making a little more room?
No, Devaney can't be expanded, and I know I've heard rumors that they're looking at maybe putting some skyboxes up there, which I'm not sure is a great idea because people love the standing room only. You know, we get 300, 400 to 500 people up there. They can get in on game day, which is great because. But I don't know how else we can expand Devaney. When we built, we shrunk it down from 13,500 to 8,000 basically. So it'd be very difficult to expand seating. But you're right about the, volleyball is a state treasure in Nebraska, and not only you left out the high schools. I mean, last year we had 7 high schools ranked the top 100 in the country. I think Omaha Scudder ended up number 2 or 3. Somewhere in there. They've been ranked #1 at times in high school. And then don't forget NAIA. We've got a lot of great teams.
Scotts Bluff.
Yeah, and that they won. Yeah, and don't forget Iowa Western right across the road here won the national championship last year. So it's a pretty amazing phenomenon how great the volleyball is at all levels in the state. And to me, the next big accomplishment for volleyball will be to have Nebraska, Creighton, and Nebraska-Omaha all in the NCAA tournament.
How about the Final Four this year at CHI? You're listening to the Nebraska Volleyball Show.
Husker fans, join us in celebrating excellence in women's athletics. Meet student athletes and alumni from every Nebraska women's program and commemorate the 50th anniversary of Title IX at the More is Possible Rally on Saturday, October 8th at Bolin Stadium. This event will begin at 10:30 a.m. and is free for all ages. Register today at huskers.com/Title IX.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients, so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Husker fans, in honor of the 50th anniversary of Title IX, we're taking a look back at some of the female Husker trailblazers who proved that more is possible. Today, we honor Chris Anderson. Hired by her alma mater in 1986 as an assistant sports information director, in 1993, Chris was promoted to the director of sports information, one of the first women in that role for a Division I football program.
Nobody exudes Husker passion more than Chris Anderson. Chris was all into helping student athletes, and particularly our football team. She had a unique ability to drive a powerful narrative in support of us, no matter what it was, whether it was local media, national awards, academic awards. She ended up kind of becoming like family because she was so involved. I just think her passion for Nebraska and her passion for supporting student athletes was really remarkable.
Anderson became the fourth woman inducted into the COSIDA Hall of Fame in 2003, serving as the Associate Athletic Director for Communications until 2007, when she became Nebraska's Assistant AD for Community, Governmental, and Charitable Relations. Anderson passionately dedicated 4 decades of service to the Huskers.
An amazing sort of trailblazer and someone who, in a male-dominated industry, just stood out because of her ability, her passion, and her hard work.
This Title IX Spotlight is proudly brought to you by Bank of the West. Women-owned businesses are vital to a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and responsible contribution to community and the planet. Bank of the West is proud to provide resources, training, and solutions to help you achieve your goals. Learn more at bankofthewest.com. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Final thoughts, your Nebraska Volleyball Show, reminding you to buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office and our Husker Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. All right, Coach, can we put this attendance record controversy to rest and just get together with Creighton at Memorial Stadium? One match, beautiful night, 25, what do you think, 35,000 fans, and it's over. Wisconsin can forget about competing.
I'll do her. I'll ask KBB if she's up for it. I don't know, but
how many fans do you think we get?
We have one record that'll never be broken. That's the sellout streak. You know, we're getting close to 300 now. There's nobody going to be touching that in our lifetime. So we're pretty proud of that, and it's great for volleyball that schools are trying to do these things now, because for many years nobody cared, and now it's become a big deal. So congrats to Wisconsin on doing that. It's just great for the sport.
20 seconds. Ohio State has beaten 3 top 10 teams. What's your biggest concern? Emily Londot?
My biggest concern right now is we play Michigan State Friday, so I don't know why you're talking about Ohio State.
Great answer. Thanks, Coach. And
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered.
Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.